SGC here, and we are back for a movie review.
我给您介绍一下，他曾经是。
轮到你说话了吗？你谁呀你？
教练，我
你曾经什么呀你？你曾经跨过山河大海，也穿过人山人海呀你。
Pegasus. This is a 2019 Chinese comedy film directed and written by Han, who is a Chinese professional rally driver, best-selling author, singer, creator of Party One, and China's most popular blogger. And published 5 novels to date, and is represented by the Hong Kong-based Peony literary agency, involved in music production, named one of the most influential people in the world by Time magazine in 2010. In 2010, he was interviewed by CNN as China's rebel writer, who has become the unofficial voice for his generation. All on Wikipedia, if that's real or not. But yeah, it's interesting that the director is an actual professional rally driver. This is his 3rd film in the director's chair, so there's Continent in 2014 and Duckweed in 2017. I definitely will check back on those ones as well. So this movie stars Shen Teng and Huang Genyu, and Wikipedia doesn't really care about anyone else in this film. There's Yin Zheng and Zhang Genyu and Yin Fang, whoever those people are. Anyways, what's this film about? Basically, it's Shen Teng playing a, okay, I'm calling that out. Wikipedia's summary sucks. But Shen Teng plays a rally driver, Zhang Qi, who is a disgraced former champion of the rally world. And basically, all of a sudden, after 5 years of just not having his license and everything, he's like, I want to get back into the game, and I will do this without money, without a car, without a team. And yeah, that's basically it. He comes back and tries to redeem himself, and that's basically the entire film. So what did I think? Well, first off, I really enjoyed the simpleness of this film. And before I forget, I loved the cameo shout out to Hong Kong-based Beyond. That was just great. Great times. It was in Cantonese. I mean, granted, very heavily mainland accented Cantonese, but I appreciate the effort and I thank you. But anyways, going back to the film, it's this very simple story, and there's not a lot of drama. There's a lot of drama in the execution, and it gets kind of like, whoa, that's kind of busy there. But in the actual narrative of the entire film, it's really simple. He wants to get back into the racing world. He gets his license. He trains, gets his car, race. Even like the rival of the younger generation whole bit thing, there's like bits of it. Like there's a fellow driver who has a flashback when Zhang Qi is a teacher and he tells him about the art of driving. That was a good line, but I felt like it could have really encompassed the whole film, but it doesn't really work when it's thrown into the mix at the very end when he's like, I'm driving, you're driving, driving's dangerous, and it's not the sport of driving, but the art of driving. So I sort of wish that they established that more so. And I do like how Zhang Ji is very straightforward with his motivation, as in he just wants to get back into racing. There's no, I'm doing this for my kid or anything like that, which is great. His kid was fun to be around, but there's no actual relationship, really. And I think that's the biggest part about this film, is that there's no real character development throughout the entire film. We have the young generation driver guy dude, played by Huang Genyu, who's pretty chill. I think that's probably how real life rally drivers are, where you're just trying to help the older guy who's trying to redeem himself. It's just like, hey, I got the money, let me just build you a car and get you on your way. Rather than like, come on, I want to be challenged. I mean, he has that, but it's not like in your face. Maybe it's a whole like American way of Hollywooding things, where his role, if this was a Hollywood film, it would definitely be like, let's do this, come on, old man. But he was just more like, I want to prove myself that, you know, people are saying that I'm only winning because you're not around, so I want to prove myself. And it's very chill. I mean, he's rich, he has that persona done well, and he just did what was needed. Zhang Ji also has 2 other like team members. We have his co-pilot and his mechanic, and pretty good scenes with him and his co-driver, with the long locks and all that. Mechanic doesn't really bring too much to the table, but more of a consequential thing where it's like, you know, the disgraceful stuff that he did as an underground driver, which screwed a lot of people over. We have like, the manager at the warehouse, and also the mechanic, the manager being fired, the mechanic being put back into like the warehouse management rather than on the front lines of rally racing. So it was interesting that it sort of talked more about like just the consequences of you being flamboyant and trying to be all that you can. And yeah, so it's a pretty straightforward, by the books, but not stereotypical narrative of the whole redemption story. In terms of the humor, I appreciated it. It's much more subtle, and it got me, I think I got probably 3 chuckles that were like, that's pretty good. And I got a lot of smiles throughout the film. And definitely did remind me of Dying to Survive's main lead, Shu Jin. Like, at first I thought they were the same person, but, you know, Asians don't look alike. So, yeah, they're not the same person. And I do look forward to just watching more Shen Teng's movies. Like, he's fun. He's fun. And Mr. Billionaire looks fun, so I'm going to definitely watch that as well. But yeah, back to this, Pegasus. I actually saw like a screening happen, and they had a crazy lots of cars outside of the theater, and it was like, whoa. Now I get why, because at first I was like, Pegasus, is this like a biking thing or whatever? And no, which doesn't really make sense, because this was a rally movie, but yet all the cars out in front of the theater was like supercars. So it's just like, but there were like some rich people driving their own cars to the screening. So I was like, okay, maybe it's an invite only. You have to own a supercar invite, or we'll lend you a supercar to make you look nice. Anyways, back to this film. So it's straightforward, simple. The ending it's predictable. Like, this film, nothing new is happening on the table. But I have to say that, again, like, just can't look down on the mainland production. Like, they did deliver this film. I know that Pegasus and Wandering Earth is one of the highlights, like February 5th. These movies came out on the same day, and it's sort of like just really showcasing their ability. I think this is on par to some racing redemption story that Hollywood have put out, and they did it much better in terms of just stripping out a lot of like needless subplots or even a love story or just I need motivation. It's just literally I want to race, and I love that. Granted, the ending sort of was like, if the ending happened the way that they made you feel like it was going to happen before the final credits rolled, I think I would have liked it a little bit more, in the sense where, wow, this guy, he went above and beyond to really achieve his dreams of just. But then it wouldn't make sense in terms of his character. But then again, at the same time, he's throwing himself like really at his like dream. So with all that mumbling and rambling, Pegasus, is it a film that you need to watch? I wouldn't necessarily say so, but I think that, you know, it's good for mainland audiences to watch this type of film, to be like, hey, we are capable of doing this film now, so we're not a joke. Like I do give it props for just how much rallying actually happens in this film. And granted, I assume there was a bit of CGI in terms of the actual racing. There's like a CGI build of Iron Man, like they're building the car as they get their sponsorship. But that's CGI, obviously. But I wonder if there's some shots of the actual rallying where they had to do some CG, or was it all like rally drivers just doing that? And I really appreciate the effort that they put into actually making the rally authentic. And granted, there is the element of a superheroism, as in he does everything by himself, but at the same time it's like, no, he was so dedicated to his dream that he remembered the entire track, which is kind of far-fetched, and at the same time he didn't drive what all things needed. So there's that. I sort of wish it was more grounded in a sense, but I think the execution is pretty grounded. Narrative could have been more grounded in the sense where, like, I don't really know why that accident happened. Like, why did he travel on that road? Maybe I'm just oblivious to I am oblivious. I don't know the actual geography or terrain around the track as to why delivering the car set up this subplot of just like, oh no, they can't race anymore, but hey, let me come in and swoop in and save you. So that was kind of iffy, but I sort of wish they didn't do that, where it's just like straightforward by the numbers. But I guess it sort of really reinforces the whole younger generation, like Huang Jinyu character just getting more screen time and just being a nice guy, and he's not just, yeah, like we're not winning, we're just defeating our opponents by time. So that was enjoyable. Anyways, talked enough. And yeah, so Pegasus, I'm glad it exists. It's another showcase of mainline production values, and that they can do this. Granted, Han is a professional rally driver, so it's just like, well, he wrote the film. He probably had a lot of like things to say about how to make it look authentic as possible, and you know, you have to add drama to films or it's just not going to be entertaining. And I think the drama that they added was fine for what it was, and I swear to God, if it was Hollywood, there was been much more. This sort of reminds me of Rush in a sense, and but much more humbling, where it's just more straightforward. I think, yeah, if I'm not going to talk about Rush because I don't really remember it in my head, but except that it was very dramatic. Anyways, okay, we're done here. Yeah, so that's it. Pegasus. If you have seen it, leave your comments down below. I don't know if I want to invite comments, really, because after watching what happened to Silver Spleen blowing up on his wandering Earth, it's just like, I don't want to deal with people, really. This is just me word vomiting. But I do like views, so share, subscribe, and like. And that's it for this movie review for Pegasus. Out.